Hey guys, how's it going? It is Sky over here for our brand new show. As you see right up above, it says LAB78. Thank you so much for joining us today in our new YouTube studio. New lights, new cameras, new mic, new everything. So I hope that everything is much better for you guys over there on your end. All right. What's different and new, guys? But before we get into this show, if you are new for the very first time, go ahead and click subscribe. Hit that notification bell, like and comment below. And also, if you really like today's content, go ahead and share it with other people that might like it too. Now, 2021, first show of the year, brand new show, brand new everything. What is the newest thing? And you might think it's the lights, you might think it's like the mic and all these other different things, but the newest thing that we have right now is I will be the host today, but we have a new co-host. Everyone, welcome Elynn. Elynn over there.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's Elynn in the LAB78. Yo!
Hey, this is awesome. So I am so happy right now because only she gets a name and I don't get a name. It only says Elynn and I have, oh, there you, oh, it's not, oh, there, here he goes again. Okay, so I have a name too. All right, so everyone knows who I am, but nobody really knows who the co-host is from all the way in Malaysia. Well, I'm in Malaysia too. And I think we met from a church function like a long time ago. But Elynn,
Yeah.
give us a little bit of who you are.
I'm Elynn from Malaysia. I'm a Instagrammer, I'm a singer, I'm a dancer, and I'm an actress too.
Awesome. And everyone, if you just heard that, Instagrammer, singer, dancer, actually does everything, okay? So she is multi-uber talented, and that's why I invited her to co-host this show together with me. So it's going to be really, really awesome today.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Sky.
Mm.
You invited me tonight, so
Mm.
I was guessing what's the topic for tonight? What will we
Okay,
be
so
discussing?
it is, yeah, and it's a little bit difficult because all we said was New Year's starter pack, right? So it's like, what the heck is a starter pack? And what I want to do first is let me kind of give you an intro of what today's show is going to be about, okay? So the new year. New year is super important, but more than anything else, guys, the new year is like magical, okay? It is a magical thing when the new year comes. And you're like, whoa, what do you mean it's magical? I don't know what it is, guys. When like 2020 ends at December 31st, and then January 1st begins, for some reason it becomes so magical because all of a sudden everyone feels like they can start working out. Everyone feels like they can start doing better and newer things. Just magical thing happens and everyone starts to think about, oh man, it's a new beginning. I have so much hope. I have so much life. There are just so many things that, wow, I can try this and I can try this and I can try this. Everyone is ready to do something new in the new year. And guess what, guys? It's still January. And because it's still January, there's still time to kind of get that direction that you need for this year. So even though we want to start a new direction, even though it's 2021, and you know, all of us want 2020 behind us, right? There's one issue, okay? The issue is there are so many options that we like, right? There's so many things that we like to do. But which one do I choose? So let me give a question over to Elynn once again, right? Elynn, where's Elynn? Elynn, I'm going to give you a question now. Because you are crazy talented. You do so many different things. So my question to you is this. Did you ever have that difficulty of choosing like you have so many talents. Like what if like choosing or focusing on one? Have you ever had that difficulty?
Sure, I have because I know a lot of style, dance, sing, acting, and if you want me really choose the most favorite, actually I can't choose it. It's very struggle for me because for me everything
Mm.
is my favorite.
Right. Yeah. And that's the crazy part is like, we're like, oh my gosh, but what about this? And then you're like, oh, but then what about this? And you're like, oh, but what
Yes,
about this? So let me ask you this question. After you make your decision, say, you know what? I'm gonna do dance. Do you ever feel like regret?
yes, I will. I'm like maybe I should go singing.
And you're like, oh, maybe I made the wrong choice, right?
Yes,
Okay, so
exactly.
this first thing I'm gonna talk about today is a really, really cool drill and exercise you can do to pick the one that you like to be able to pick and make a choice. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna talk about today is what? Multiple choices, so many things going on. Which one should I choose? What's something that can help me to make the right choice? Okay, so today I'm going to talk about something called the 7-day drill. Okay, 7-day exercise, right? So you put me on the full screen now, right? So this 7-day exercise is for a situation like Elynn. Elynn has too many talents. She likes all of them, but which one do I choose? So I'm going to show you a drill called 7-day drill, and it's going to really, really help you to make your decisions. First thing you do is all you need is some Post-it notes. Now, you guys know what Post-it notes are, right? Post-it notes are like the yellow sticky thing, and you can stick it on your refrigerator or your wall in your room. What you do is, let's say in Elynn's case, it's like singing, dancing, acting, Instagram, and now she's a YouTuber. So there's 5 things that she can do, right? So what she'll do is she'll take one piece and put it on the wall in front of her and put each of the different options, all 5. And she'll put the option with why she likes that choice, okay? Now, after you're done it, put in one line in front of you so you can look at it, everything in one line. What do? Nothing. You go next day. So the next day you come back. You're going to look at those choices because you have time to put them, think about it in your head. And the next thing you're going to do is like, okay, so the second day, what you're going to do now with every single option, you have to do one of 2 things, okay? You either move it up or move it down. That's all you have to do on that first day, right? You can move it as much as you want, as little as you want. It's up to you, but the only rule is you must move all of them up or down as little or as much as you want. So after the first day, you're going to move this one up, this one down, this one up, this one down, this one up, depending on whether you like it, how much you like it or not. What do you do after that? Nothing. You wait till the next day, right? Because you need time for your mind to think about these things. The next day you come back, same thing. Every one of these options, you have to either move it up or move it down. And what you're going to find out is every day until the 7th day, as you're moving things up and down, something magical is going to happen. And what's this magic? Is you're going to be able to start to see that there's going to be a big divide by the choices you really like and the choices you don't really like that much. And you're going to start to see them spread out. And you're like, oh, you know what? I really like these 2 options better. And slowly you're going to be able to choose between even those 2 options by the 7th day. Now, here's the thing. This is the reason why you need to do it this way. Because I know most people, guys, tell me this, guys. You guys, when we're trying to make a decision, you're trying to do everything in your head. It's crazy if you think about it. Why? Because the mind is like a black hole. What does it mean, a black hole? It means that you start thinking all these crazy things because once I become a dancer, then I become so famous. And then once I become an YouTuber, Insta, and all these things come in your mind. And what happens is it's endless in your head. And because it's endless, what happens? You have no idea. Like you're like, I don't know, they all sound good. What has to happen is you must put it on paper so you can see it and it becomes real to you and no longer stuck inside your head. Right? And once you start to see them, you're actually able to discern and judge these different choices much better, right? You got to get it outside of that black hole in your mind, put it on a piece of paper, and for 7 days, do it like this. And guys, I'm going to tell you this, the moment you put it on paper, the moment you start moving and adjusting these things around, the crazy thing is your mind becomes very clear of, oh, yeah, that is something I want. So guys, I hope this helps you. Elynn, I hope this helps you too. This is called the 7-day drill.
Wow, that's interesting. It is a good sharing. And it is a thing. I can do it, and you guys here today can do it and practice it. So,
awesome.
Sky, I have one question. It's very struggle for me too. It's about the idealistic and the realistic. What do you think about that?
Idealistic and the realistic, like 2 choices, right?
Yeah.
So one choice, idealistic is like a dream. Yeah, like correct. Passion. Well, which one is idealistic for you?
Like acting, become famous one day,
okay.
Going in a big screen in cinema.
Awesome. Okay, so you're like, oh yeah. So idealistic is like, oh, that's something I really want. And then realistic right now is you're already Instagrammer. You already have thousands of people on your Instagram and all these. Like, oh, I can just do this too, right? So this is a really good one because now this has to do with 2 things, right? One thing is something you're already pretty good at and you're doing it right now. You might not be the best at it yet, but you're already getting good at it, right? And then the other side is going to be the idea like, oh my gosh, how can I do this? This one is a little bit, oh, I don't know, maybe too much of a dream. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me teach you, that's an awesome question because I actually get that question a lot too. So this is the second thing I talk about today. Okay. And this thing is making the two choices, the thing you're already good at and you're doing it right now. Like some people are accounting, like they're doing accounting stuff and they're really good at it. But then also in your heart, you're like, but I want to try something new also. So what kind of advice I want to give you guys is this. In most cases, the advice I give is to master one thing first. Okay. And I'm going to tell you why mastering something is such an important thing to do. Mastering something is hard. It is difficult. It is not something that you can just do anytime you want. Because when you master something, it means that you go through the most difficult time. It is hard. Oh, you go through some rough spots. You're like, oh, I don't know if I can do this anymore. But what happens is when you master something, the thing that you are training yourself in is your mentality. And I'm going to tell you this one thing right now. Mentality, this thing up here is the one thing that is transferable from one job, from one thing to another. Like for instance, if you play sports and you learn how to kick a ball, just because you know how to kick a ball and you master kicking a ball doesn't mean you're going to use the kicking ball, like kicking the ball when you go become a business person, right? You don't do it, right? You're like, that's not transferable, but there is something that is transferable when you master kicking a ball. Because you took 1,000 shots a day until you got it right. What are you actually training? It is up here, the mentality, the willingness, the wanting, like to overcome. If you master one thing, that mentality is what transfers over. And this is what allows you to do new things in a good way. And I'll give you a great example because I'm an athlete, right? I played sports all my life. And when you look at professional sports players, the most amazing thing about them is they're so good at their sport, then all of a sudden they do business and they're just as good at business. And you're like, what? And then they do modeling and you're like, what? Then they do sponsorships, then they do this and they do that. And you're like, they're good at everything. You're like, man, these people are just so blessed by God. They're so blessed. Like, look at me. I don't have all these things. But the answer is, from mastering that one sport, they take that mentality into every other thing they do. And that's why no matter what, they're going to start becoming good at every single thing that they do. So if I were to give you guys advice for this, master one thing first, and that mentality will transfer over to the new thing you want to try. If you don't master something or become really, really good at something, the hard part is kind of like what most people do is, when the difficult time comes, what do? They stop, right? They stop. They don't finish what they're supposed to do. And this is why start with something. My advice is for most people is start with something that you're good at and you really like, master it. And then that mentality is going to transfer over to the different things that you do. All right. Does that make sense, Elynn?
Yes, it's really it make me more understand about myself, but like which way I should go to now. So yeah, that's
okay,
good.
so now let me ask you a question, right? Because you've been asking me questions. Like I want to ask you a question is, especially when it comes to going through this new year and starting something new. My question to you is, do you have like a life vision, a vision for your life?
Vision. I guess my kind of vision is very short-term vision.
Okay. So what is it? Well, what do you mean by short-term vision?
For example, Malaysia now having MCO, and I'm a dancer. I miss the stage. I miss performance in front of audience, and I miss practicing with my group mates, teammates. So now MCO, I can only stay home. I can't do anything.
Right. So those of you guys don't know, right now in Malaysia, like the coronavirus is getting pretty crazy over here.
Yeah.
And we have something called the MCO, or the movement control order, which means everyone has to stay home. Unless you're going to the grocery store. And for me, because I'm super active, I go to the grocery store every day, not to buy something, just to get out of the house. I'm just going to the grocery store because I need to get out. But here's the thing. Okay. So in the MCO, here's Elynn, and she's like stuck in like, oh, I want to be with my team. I want to practice. And this is what you call this is very short term. And this is not really a vision. So let me first explain to you what a vision is. Okay. So a vision is something that is 20 to 30 years in the future. Okay. This is what a vision is, right? It is not just things that you want to get. More importantly, it is the why. Like, why do you want it? So one of the examples I always use is, like Elynn, I'm sure like for all of us, like, haven't you ever thought to yourself, oh, I want a big house.
Yes, I wanted to.
And like you want a nice house, right?
Yeah.
Something, a
Big
landed
one.
house. Yeah, big with a nice garage and you're by yourself and no one's bothered. Like, we want these types of things. What a vision is, the thing about the vision that makes it so powerful is you're finding the why. So one of the examples I always give is this. Someone says, I want a house with 10 rooms. I'm like, whoa. Five bathrooms. Whoa. And like 10-car garage. Whoa, right? I'm like, that's crazy. But then the real question is why? So imagine someone says this, because I am someone who just loves my family. Like, family is so important to me. And our family, we have 10 people in it. And because I love my family so much and I always want my family to be together, I want a big house like this so that every year, at least once a year, all our family can come together and have a weekend of just hanging out with the family. And someone says, oh, yep, that's vision, right? The vision is I love my family. My family is the most important thing to me. So if I want my family to be together, number one is I need a big house. Yeah. Number two is I want to make lots of money, like $5 million a year. Why? Because I want to fly all 10 members of my family plus their family into this house every single year. So what happens is, it's no longer about, I just want to make a lot of money. I just want a big house. But now you have a why. There's something that is compelling and motivating you to want those things. It's the why. It is something that is so important in our lives, because if you don't have a why, when it gets really difficult, you're not going to do it anymore. All right? Some people want to be a doctor. You know how hard it is to be a doctor? It is so hard to be a doctor because it takes so long, 5, 6, 7 years to become a doctor. But imagine you have a vision. Your mother, your grandmother has cancer. And the only thing in your mind is, I want to be a doctor because I want to heal and take care of my grandmother and my mother. And you're like, whoa. Then what happens is, when you go through a difficult time and you're like, oh, I want to quit. I don't want to be a doctor anymore. But then all of a sudden you're like, oh, and you think of your grandma. Oh, and you think of your mom. Oh, they have cancer. No, I got to go stronger. And what happens is, you can push yourself even further. And this is why we really, really have to have a vision. Okay. So now, Elynn, I'm going to give you another question. This is going to be a surprising question. Okay. So here's the question. If you take all the people in the world, what percentage of people in the world are actually visionary? Like, they're the ones that have the vision. What percentage of the world do you think actually has vision?
10%?
All right, about 10%, okay? So let me tell you the real stat, and you're way off. You're 4 times off. It is only 2.5%.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy. Only 2.5% of the world are considered like visionary, right? And you're like, what? Only 2.5%? It doesn't it seem so small?
Yeah, it's real small population.
Okay, so this is why this is important to know. Because when I tell people they need to get a vision, everyone's like, wait a second. 97.5% of the world is not visionary, right? And it's kind of like, wait, that's true. 97.5% of the world is not visionary. They're not thinking that way. So then how am I going to make a vision for myself if like 98% of us are not visionary? So here's the thing I'm going to teach you right now. Okay. I'm going to teach you right now about getting a vision. So I'm telling you, go get a vision. You need a vision, that thing that compels you. You need the why, right? And then the next thing I tell you is, oh, by the way, only 2.5% of us are actually visionary. You're like, okay, Sky, like, so you want us to get a vision, but you're telling us that 98% of us are not visionary. So then how the heck am I supposed to get vision then? And the answer is you yourself don't need to come up with the vision. Human beings are looking for a vision. They're looking for a cause. Like, look in the world right now, right? All over the world, there are protests, there are riots, so many things in every country. Africa, Europe, everywhere, Germany, Tunisia, America, Canada, they're all protesting for what? Did all of them come up with the vision all at once? In America, you have like Black Lives Matter. All of a sudden, people come on. Why? Some people want a vision. They're trying to grab onto something. It doesn't mean you yourself have to make one. But when there's a vision that you enjoy, Black Lives Matter or protesting against the government, corruption against the government, there's all these different causes that are out there. Someone came up with the vision and people say, oh, I want that. I want that. And what we can do is we don't have to come up with the vision, but we're also searching for visions out there. And this is why great companies have great visionary leaders. And these people are the ones that have this vision. And when you listen to it, you're like, whoa, yeah, I want to be part of that. Oh, I really want to be a part of that. Right? And that's why I'm telling you guys, getting a vision is really, really important, but it doesn't literally mean that you yourself are making it. It doesn't mean that, right? There are visionaries out there. And they're like the Steve Jobs, right? They're like the Elon Musks, right? And this is why religion is so huge, whether it's like Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, whatever it is. The reason why it's so big, because you had these amazing visionaries at the front. And these people were the ones everyone says, I want that too. I want to be a part of that. And this is why, if anything, religion is probably the biggest of all the visions. Because it's like going to heaven. It's about being a better person. And these are things that people all want to attach themselves to. So if anything else, I hope this helps you out, Elynn, because this is all about getting a vision.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks for sharing to me. This is like the first time I ever heard about this, the visions. Although I might not have one, but I can grab someone vision and put it on my own. And this is something that we're able to do. So thanks for sharing. And now let me do a quick recap for you guys tonight. And we have a lot of choices, but we don't know how to choose. And we can use the 7 days drills. Remember the 7-day drills about the sticky notes and up and downs? Yeah.
Awesome.
The second one is about the idealistic and realistic. So you need to master one thing first, and especially when you can choose like which one is your most favorite. And the third one is we need to have vision. Just like I said just now, we might not have one vision, but we can grab some vision and put it on our own and practice it and do it. And that's the 3 things for today.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that summary. You actually said it better than I would say it. Thank you so much, Elynn. Hey guys, this is Elynn's first time. So when you see her right now, just give her a big round of applause because this is her first time co-hosting. Guys, she was super nervous, but she did such an awesome job. I'm so happy that she did this. Guys, if you enjoyed this, go ahead and like this video, leave a comment behind. And if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, hit the notification bell, because we really want everyone to gain a lot from these talks on LAB78. And this is the big thing, guys. If you have topics you want us to talk about, go ahead, put them in the comments. Put them in the comments. We want to hear what kind of topics you guys want to hear about. We want to talk about those things and help you guys out with those things also. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us for the very first LAB78, which means I'm your host, Sky, and Elynn. Elynn is your co-host, and we are saying goodbye for today. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.